Yeah, online guys. Rajkumar and Rajkumar, are you practiced?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. And rest of the people, what about others? Sridhar and Navya, Neelakshi. You're practicing, right? If anyone not practiced, please don't attend the classes. Okay. If you're not practice today, don't attend class tomorrow. Okay. So because if you're not practice, you can't get the subject. This is a time, unnecessarily you're wasting your 1 hour time. So if you don't have time to practice, don't attend the classes. It means you're wasting your time. Okay. Yeah. So what is our last topic? We just states and props, and we just entered into map functionality, right? So today we will discuss about array and array methods. Then already I told you map, filter kind of things, but I will tell you again in the React. So I will use that map again in the React. Using map, I will show the data in the form of list, in the form of table, as of now. In the next class, we'll jump into forms. Okay? Yeah, Nilaksh. Any question? Yeah, don't have any questions, right? Yes. We're talking about array, right? Yeah. See guys, generally a variable, for example, I'm taking a variable. Or else I will take some meaningful names and maybe have 2 friends. Okay? But I want to store their information. I need 2 variables to store 2 people's data. Right? Means variable can hold single data at a time. It can't store Omkar and Raju at a time because it's a variable. Variable can store single value at a time. But I want to store multiple elements at a time. For that we are using array. Okay, you can store a number of elements. Okay, array means collection of elements. Collection. That's why in generally Python you will call it collection. Collection of elements. Okay, and in other languages, maybe in Java, in .NET, here you can't store a number. Generally in Java, array is collection of related elements. Collection of related elements. But in JavaScript, it's collection of elements. No need to mention related, because here I taken string and I have taken number also. Array means collection of elements, that's it. No need to mention related. Okay, and every element have its index value. So first element index 0, second element index 1, and the last element index length minus 1. Okay, because it starts from 0, right? So actually it is 2. Now the index of 477 is 2. Length 3. So length minus 1, that is 2, right? So if you want first element, array of 0, and if you want last element, one. So it gives me 2, right? So and you can place inside the array. So this one, it's 0 given you first element, and if you want the last element, you need the length of the array, that gives you length of this array, and -1 means it gives you last element index, and I pass that into array and it's given me last element. So this is my first element and this is my last element. Any questions? No, right? For example, I just want to print everyone's information in the console. For that I can go with the for loop, and you can take let I equal 0 because you need the first element, and I less than or equal array dot length minus 1 I plus plus, and inside you can write console.log so it prints you all the elements like Omkar, Raju and 477, every element it will print in the console. Okay, so this is a proper logic to print every element in the console, but performance wise for loop is outdated. Performance wise, to overcome this problem, we are going with a new concept name called for each. Okay, inside you are taking an anonymous function, don't have any name, anonymous function, and this function will execute depend upon the length of the array length 3, right? So for each will execute this function for 3 times. When it is executing first time, so you will take first argument, that is maybe data, and the second element will be the I index value. So first argument data, you can take any name, maybe you can give X, you can give Y. So in the first iteration, X value is generally what is the array? Just copy this, place here. In the first iteration, X means Omkar, absolutely, and I means 0. Sorry, Y. Sorry, you taken Y, right? Y means 0. The same thing it's repeated 3 times because you have 3 elements. You can call it iteration also, first iteration, second iteration, like that. Okay, and X means Raju, and X means 477, and Y means 1, Y means 2. Okay, and inside you can do anything, like you can use console.log. So it will print Omkar 0, Raju 1, 477, 2 will print in the console. Clear? Or any questions? And for each will not return anything. For each execute every time, but it will not return anything. So you can't use return. You can't use return here. Okay? Sorry. Why? That is for each functionality. When they are created for each, they want to perform operations on each element, but they are not they are not using to return anything from this. They don't want to return anything from here. Okay? So if you want to return anything, then they introduce one more method, name called map. Instead of for each, I am using map, and the same concept in the first iteration First iteration x means Omkar, y means 0. Second iteration x means Raju and y means 1. And in the third iteration x means 477 and y means 2. Absolutely correct. But map having extra functionality with compared to the for each. What is that? You can return anything. You can return anything. What do you want? So this value you can store in the array, maybe in the new array. Now my array 1, this one, what the value is written from the map, this is stored in this array 1. So now array 1 is an array, it having anything 3 times, because you written anything, right? So now array 1 is also an array. It is also an array, and what the value written from the map, that is pushed to the array 1. Okay, and maybe, so for example, I want to say hello instead of anything. Say hello, no problem. Hello, give space and use concatenation and use x. Now it is not anything. What it is? It is hello Omkar. Okay, hello Omkar. Because first iteration, and the second iteration it is Raju, and the third iteration is 477. Okay, you understand? For each, they created some methods for you, and every method have its own functionality. For each can perform operation each element, but map can perform operation each element, and especially it have another functionality, that is it can return anything. Okay, and my next functionality, for example, sir, I have a condition. If it is a number, I don't want to return anything. If it is name, okay, because I will call my friends with their roll numbers. Generally, this 477 is my BTech friend. Okay, and the rest of the friends, they're from someone from India, someone from 10th. So I will call them with that names. Okay, so I just want to remove my BTech friends from my friends list. Okay, so for that I am just placing a condition here. I just want to know the type of a variable. Which method you have to use? Method name, type of. In Python it is type, but in JavaScript it is type of. Equal to number. Okay, equal to number. For example, if you're not clear about this, go here and go to the inspect. Go to the console. Type of 1, for example. It's given me number. Copy this. And of course it's not capital, it's small. Okay. So if it is number, I don't want to return. If it is not number, then I want to return my values. Now, then what you are expecting here in that array 1? The last one? There is no last one, right? Because you are not written. But map having a special functionality. What is that? This array length, the framed array length must be equal to the original array length. Original array length is 3, right? So you are framing an array using map, that array length equal to the original array length. That is a mandatory, must be. So So if you not written anything, it's automatically written undefined. But I don't want to do this. I just want to, if I don't want to return, I don't want to return. If I want to return, I will return. So I want a proper functionality. If I want, I will return. For that our developer invented one more thing, that is filter. Name called filter, and you can take array2. Okay, so anyway, the console.log, same in the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, and coming to the array2. Coming to array2, map can return anything, right? But filter cannot return anything. You can write anything here, but it can return only element value. So it means it will not return hello. It will return Omkar. It will return Araju. And you have a condition, right? So it will not return anything. That's it. These three methods are very important. What is that? For each, map and filter. Coming to for each, in the each iteration it will perform operations on elements, but it cannot return anything. If you want to return, go with the map. Okay, map can return anything, and it having one more mandatory point. What is that? Map framed array length, which is must be equal to the original array length. So if you have not written anything from that, it will return undefined. So to overcome that problem, we are using filter. Filter cannot return anything. It will return only elements. If you place return in that, it will return only elements. Okay, Omkar Raju. Maybe written hello Omkar, but it will return only Omkar. Okay, even if you place return like this, it will return Omkar only in the first iteration.
What is the difference between filter and for each?
For each is not written anything, no.
Here also it is not written anything.
It is written element.
For each also will get Omkar and Raj.
It is consoling. Written is different topic. This return value framing a new array. For each is not returning anything. If you place return here in the for each, return anything, maybe x for example, and you taken that into a new array. If you console new array, it will print undefined, only single undefined, because it is not written anything. It will not frame an array, but map and filter can. So this consoling topic, this console in the for each, in the map and in the filter same, because in the every iteration, maybe that is for each, maybe that is map, maybe that is filter, those methods executing the callback function, this anonymous function, depend on the length of this array. If this array length is 3, this function execute 3 times in all the methods. So you are placing your console in all the methods behaving same. I am talking about the console. Coming to the return aspect, it is different in all the methods. That is the exact difference between 3 methods. And from the for each you can't return anything. From the map you can return anything. From the filter you can return only element. And of course, for each can't return anything. No, you don't need to discuss anything. Coming to the map, depend on the condition. If you have not written anything, it will return undefined. But in the filter, if you have not written anything, it will not return anything. It will not return anything. Okay, this is the exact difference between 3 methods. In the last class, by Saturday, I discussed with many people. They asked me to tell them in Telugu also. Okay, so I will take 3 to 4 minutes to complete this in the Telugu. Okay, so we are talking about variables, right? Variables, at a time, ఒక్కసారికి ఒక వాల్యూని స్టోర్ చేసుకోగలుగుతాయి. సో ఒక్కసారికి ఒక వాల్యూని స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటాయి. బట్ నేను మల్టిపుల్ వాల్యూస్ని స్టోర్ చేయాలనుకున్నాను కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ విత్ ద అరే. వేరే లాంగ్వేజ్లో అయితే మీకు అరే అంటే అది రిలేటెడ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్, అంటే ఇందులో నేను ఓన్లీ ఐదర్ స్ట్రింగ్స్ తీసుకోగలను లేదా నెంబర్స్ తీసుకోగలను. బట్ జావా స్క్రిప్ట్లో ఆఫ్ ఫెసిలిటీ మనకేంటి వీ కెన్ టేక్ కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. సో నేను స్ట్రింగ్స్ తీసుకున్నా, నెంబర్ కూడా తీసుకున్నా, ఇంకొక అరే తీసుకోవచ్చు, ఇంకొక యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఇన్ ఇట్. ఓకే, సో దాన్ని మనం అరే అంటున్నాం, కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్. సో ఇప్పుడు నాకు ఫస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ కావాలి అంటే నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, ఆఫ్ 0, బికాస్ ఎవ్రీ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్స్ ఇండెక్స్. ప్రతి ఎలిమెంట్స్కి దాని ఇండెక్స్ ఉంది, స్టార్ట్స్ విత్ 0. రైట్కి వెళ్తున్న కొద్దీ దాని ఇండెక్స్ వాల్యూ ఇంక్రిమెంట్ బై 1 అవుతుంది. అండ్ ద లాస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో అది అరే డాట్ లెంత్ -1, బికాస్ దీని లెంత్ 3 అండ్ ద లాస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్ ఇండెక్స్ ఎంత 2. సో 3 - 2 1 కాబట్టి 3 - 1 దట్ ఈస్ 2 కాబట్టి నేను అరే డాట్ లెంత్ -1 అన్నాను, అంటే 2 అయింది. అరే ఆఫ్ 2 అంటే ఎంత 477. ఓకే, సో నేను నా లాస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ ఫస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ తీసుకున్నా బికాస్ ఈ ఫర్ యూస్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా కాబట్టి. అండ్ ఇక్కడ నేను ఇండెక్స్ వాల్యూ ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ చేసిన 0, బికాస్ నేను ఫస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్తో స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా. అండ్ అప్ టు ఎక్కడి వరకు వెళ్ళాలి 477 వరకు, దట్ ఈస్ అరే లెంత్ -1. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టేకెన్ అండ్ I++ అండ్ యూఆర్ ప్రింటింగ్ అరే ఆఫ్ I మీన్స్ ఫస్ట్ ఇటరేషన్లో 0, సెకండ్ ఇటరేషన్లో 1, థర్డ్ ఇటరేషన్లో 2 కాబట్టి మీరు ఓంకార్ రాజు 477ని కన్సోల్ చేసినాం. బట్ ఇది చాలా అవుట్డేటెడ్ కాన్సెప్ట్, చాలా అవుట్డేటెడ్ అండ్ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ వైజ్ చాలా స్లో ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి మనం ఏం చేయబోతున్నాం, ఐదర్ ఫర్ ఈచ్ లేదా ఇంకొకటి ఏంటి ఐదర్ మ్యాప్ లేదా ఇంకొకటి ఏంటి ఫిల్టర్. ఈ 3 మెథడ్స్ యూజ్ చేయబోతున్నాం మనం. ఫస్ట్ ఫర్ ఈచ్తో మాట్లాడదాం. ఫర్ ఈచ్ మీరు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఫర్ ఈచ్ ఇది ఈ అరే లెంత్ బేస్ చేసుకొని ఫంక్షన్ని కాల్ చేస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు అరే లెంత్ ఎంత 3 కాబట్టి ఫర్ ఈచ్ ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఎన్నిసార్లు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తుంది, 3 టైమ్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, 3 టైమ్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తుంది. సో ఫస్ట్ టైం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఎక్స్ అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ ఏదైతే తీసుకున్నారో, ఇక్కడ మీ ఇష్టం మీరు ఏదైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు, ఎక్స్ అనేది ఏదైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఎక్స్ ఫస్ట్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ ఓంకార్ అండ్ సెకండ్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ 0. ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ ఇటరేషన్ రాజు అండ్ 1. ఇన్ ద థర్డ్ ఇటరేషన్ 477 అండ్ ఓకేనా. జస్ట్ మనం కన్సోల్ చేసుకున్నాం, బట్ యూ కాంట్ రిటర్న్ ఎనీథింగ్. మీరు ఏదైనా రిటర్న్ చేస్తే కనుక అన్డిఫైన్డ్ రిటర్న్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా, సో దిస్ ఇస్ అబౌట్ ఫర్ ఈచ్. సో నేను రిటర్న్ చేయలేకపోతున్నా కాబట్టి మనం దీంట్లోకి జంప్ చేస్తున్నాము మ్యాప్లోకి. సో మ్యాప్ నుంచి మీరు దీన్నైనా రిటర్న్ చేయొచ్చు, యూ కెన్ రిటర్న్ ఎనీథింగ్. ఓకే, సో మనం ఏం రిటర్న్ చేస్తున్నాము, హలో విత్ ఇండెక్స్ వాల్యూ ఎలిమెంట్ వాల్యూ రిటర్న్ చేస్తున్నాము. సో ఫస్ట్ ఇటరేషన్లో హలో ఓంకార్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు రిటర్న్. ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ ఇటరేషన్ హలో రాజు ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు రిటర్న్. ఇన్ ద థర్డ్ ఇటరేషన్ ఐ వాంట్ టు రిటర్న్ 477. బట్ ఇక్కడ మీరు ఒక కండిషన్ పెట్టుకున్నారు, ఏమని, ఒకవేళ వచ్చే ఎలిమెంట్ కనుక నెంబర్ అయితే కనుక ఇది రిటర్న్ చేయకూడదు. సో నెంబర్ అయింది కాబట్టి రిటర్న్ చేయలేదు, ఏది రిటర్న్ చేయలేదు కాబట్టి ఏం రిటర్న్ అయింది, అన్డిఫైన్డ్ రిటర్న్ అయింది. సో నాకు అలా జరగకూడదు. ఒకవేళ కనుక కండిషన్ బేస్డ్ లాజిక్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు నాకు అన్డిఫైన్స్ రిటర్న్ అవ్వకూడదు అంటే ఏం చేయాలి మనం, విల్ గో విత్ ద ఫిల్టర్. ఓకే, ఫిల్టర్లో కండిషన్ పెట్టుకున్నప్పుడు ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ రిటర్న్ ఎనీథింగ్, నెంబర్స్ అనేది రిటర్న్ చేయదు ఇంకా ఎలిమెంట్లో నెంబర్ ఉంటే. సో కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ నాకు థర్డ్ ఇటరేషన్లో ఏం రిటర్న్ అవ్వలేదు. అండ్ మ్యాప్ ఏంటి, మ్యాప్ కెన్ రిటర్న్ ఎనీథింగ్ బట్ ఫిల్టర్ కెన్ నాట్ రిటర్న్ ఎనీథింగ్, ఇట్ విల్ రిటర్న్ ఓన్లీ ఎలిమెంట్ వాల్యూ. కాబట్టి నాకు ఓంకార్ రాజు రిటర్న్ అయింది. ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్? నో, రైట్? యా. సో అండ్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు పర్ఫామ్ సమ్, మీరు సమ్ పర్ఫామ్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నారు అనుకో. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు పర్ఫామ్ సమ్, లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ నెంబర్స్. So now I want to sum of these numbers. Okay, so for that you can take maybe any variable which is equal. Here the method name is reduce. Method name is reduce. Yeah. So sum of numbers is a number, right? A single digit. It's not an array. So reduce going to return final value. It will not return every value. Now in the map, in the for each, in the every iteration you return. But reduce return the final value. Okay, it will perform operations as you given, and finally it will return single value. So first of all, try to understand the functionality, and finally we can understand the conclusion points. So first of all, you can take two variables. Maybe I take an A, C. Okay. The first argument acts like accumulator, and the second argument acts like current value. So in the first iteration, for example, 1 comes to C because it's allows current value that stores in the A directly. In the second iteration, you are getting 2, right? So now my C value 2. Already you have A value and C value, and you are trying to performing arithmetic addition operation. 1 plus 2, that is 3. 3 you are storing in the A value now 3, and the current value is 3. 3 plus 3, 6, that stores in the A, and current value 4. 6 plus 4, 10, that stores in the A, and the current value 5. 10 plus 5, that is 15, stores in the A, and you don't have any values, right? That 15 return to the sum of numbers. Now my sum of numbers 15. Sum of numbers is not an array. So that finally reduce return single value, right? That stores in the sum of numbers. You can take any variable, in that variable you store the value. Any questions?
One more example of
Reduce. For example, you are getting continuous data. You are getting continuous data. You want to take the data and you want to add that to the old data. You have your old data. For example, you have in this class we have 4 members. Tomorrow a new student comes to the office, comes to the training institute to join the course. Actually we need to frame them into new batch, but I want to join him in this same batch, but I am holding some old information. I just want to add that new information to this. So at that time we will go with the reduce. Okay, so we'll use it. We will use some of the different examples, but try to understand what it is doing. It is taking the current value and doing some operation with the old data, and the result is showing in the accumulator until the data completes. When the data completes, it stores that into resultant thing, this one. So this is our resultant array, our resultant value. So here, for example, my accumulator is an array. Okay, your sum of numbers also array, right? Because you are going to return that. So it depends on your functionality. Okay, so now you understand filter, reduce, and for each. Maybe we can't use for each in our React project. Reduce depends. We can use map, filter many times. If you want such functionality, we already discussed. No, like here I placed condition not to return, but tomorrow you want return values, so we will use this. For example, from my array I deleted an element 477 and deleted from the array. So if you want to delete any element from the array, you will go with the filter. If you want to search, you will go with the filter. If you want to sort, you will go with the filter. Okay, and map, if you want to perform operation each and every element, you will go with the map. Okay, so this is a difference between each and every method. So in the last example, our project name React sample React project, right? This one. how to start a project? npm start. In the last class already I used a map, right? Okay, so I have taken my friend's data. Generally, if you print like this, you can call it hard coded. So this logic will not react if the data change. It will not reflect if the data change. But my map method, if data decrease, it will not return many elements. If you have only 2 elements, it will return only 2 LIs. If you have 10 elements, it will return 10 list items. Okay? Yeah. Now for example, see, first of all, try to see the array. How many elements you have? 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, right? I want to execute that using map. I used that already in the last class, but I will write it again. So first of all, try to understand. I take a list, another list, and in that I am opening my interpolation to bind this friends property. This dot state dot friends, right? Friends dot, what is the method name? Map, and of course you have to mention function in that. You have to create a function. Now this function execute. How many times this function will execute? 4 times, because depend on the length of this array. This dot state dot friends length is 4. So map will execute this function for 4 times. Anyway, you can expect x comma y maybe. In the first iteration, x means this a, and y means index value. And which one you want to iterate, which one you want to repeat? That li I want to repeat, right? And inside open interpolation, place your x. Okay, that will print on the browser. Still it is compiling. Yeah, there is still it is compiling. Yeah, it's compiled now, and it will reflect output on the browser. Yeah, A, B, 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 C, 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 D, D. So for example, you can add something to the array. Okay, I'm going to save this. Okay, it not reflected in your hard-coded logic. So that is the big difference to use advanced concepts. Okay, so if you practice 1 or 2 times, you can get the syntax easily. Okay, when you are listening the class, you can't understand everything. So if you practice it 1 time or 2 times, you can easily understand. But usually you have to practice at least 10 times. First time you will take at least 10 minutes to 15 minutes time to practice. The same thing, if you're practicing it 10th time, it will take not even 1 minute to execute this code. Okay, your typing speed also increase, writing coding style also increase. So try to improve your practicing skills. Okay, so next we need to talk about object. Generally, object means what? collection of properties and methods. But I am talking about this object. We'll call it JSON, JavaScript object notation, or else you can call it key and value pair. Okay, inside you can take key and value pair. Okay, and we have taken two properties, A and B. A value 10, B value 20. Okay, so now I want to print 10 in the console. So how to print that? Console.log obj.a. For array you used bracket, square bracket, and in that you pass index value. But in object, if you want the value, you need to use its key. Okay, if you want to print B also, obj.b. Okay. For example, I am taking a new array, that is array of objects. Maybe I am taking Raju and his age 20, for example. Okay, so now try to use map method to print Omkar 30, Raju 20. You just try to print that in the console. Okay, go and bring that map method. Array.map, and of course I don't want all of this stuff, even I don't want this, I just want to console first. Okay, in the first iteration, X means what? Not Omkar. X means this entire object, because first element, no, in the first iteration, first element. Now X means what? This entire object. So I want to print Omkar. So what I need to write now? X dot name. Clear? X means this entire object. No. If you want age, X dot age. We're talking about the first iteration. So it's print Omkar 30 in the console. In the second iteration, X means the second object. Okay, X dot name means Raju, X dot age means 20 in the console.
I understand why did you put X dot name and X dot age in console?
Ardham gaలేదు, you can't understand.
I can understand why you put X dot name and X dot age in console.
I just want to print their names, name and age in the console. What is the use of console generally?
Okay, that's very good.
See, generally, what happens exactly? Generally, if you're thinking behind the syntaxes, like try to think simple. Like if you want to extra logical, also becomes sometimes difficult. Okay, అది కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది, మీకని కాదు అవుతుంది. లైక్ బాగా మనం బీయింగ్ ఏ డెవలపర్ ఏదో స్పెషల్గా ఆలోచిద్దాం అనుకుంటాం కదా, బాగా ఆలోచించాలి. సో కొంచెం సింపుల్గా ఆలోచించాలి. సింపుల్గా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయలేనప్పుడు దీన్ని గో విత్ ద కాంప్లెక్స్. నాట్ అబౌట్ హిస్ క్వశ్చన్. జనరలీ ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్ యూ, లైక్ స్టూడెంట్స్ జనరలీ దెన్ వెన్ ఐ హ్యావ్ సీన్ దేర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, అది చాలా సిల్లీగా ఉంటాయి. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్ ఆలోచిద్దామని ట్రై చేస్తారనమాట. సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద సింటాక్స్, బేసిక్ సింటాక్సెస్, then slowly go to the next level. So even you can use this in the very difficult level, very difficult way we can use it, but as of now just try to understand about the syntax. Okay, yeah, because for example, if I define new callback function, this is the next level. Okay, and you are passing this as an argument to the map. So map this map expecting this callback function as argument. That is next level. We can go and this function expecting some arguments. What kind of things given by map to this function. So if you go in depth, there will be so much of depth. I'm not taking you to in depth. I'm just giving you the syntax level of knowledge because you're a beginner, I know. So I'm giving you syntax knowledge first. Then we are using it. You can understand many things. Okay, good. So I want to use this array, and I want to show this data in the form of table in the React. Copy this and come to React and give comma here because this dot state also object key and value pair. That's why I'm using this dot state dot a, this dot state dot b, this dot state dot friends. Okay, and now you can't use equal to here because you're inside the object. You have to use colon. Okay, and now come down. I just want to print that data in the form of table. Try to take table. Inside, first I want to print like this. Okay, this is name, this is age. Okay, name, age, print only one time. Later, records will add it. N number of many records. Okay, so which one you want to iterate? Thus, from second to tr we want to iterate, but first tr I don't want to repeat. So take that tr outside of that map, and inside you can place your th table heading, that is name and age. Okay, and the second tr I want to repeat, so I will take that inside this dot state dot array I used, and map is the method, and you can place a function inside this, and you can expect something. Maybe I'm giving data, and you can give index value. Okay, and return. Which one you want to return? You want to return table row. Inside you can take td. Now tell me data dot name, right, and data dot age. Now go and see what happened on the browser. See, name, age, Omkar 30, Raju 20, and I am not given border. Try to give border 1 pixel. Okay, if you want to collapse it, then go to CSS. Generally in the app.js we already called SAS file. What is that? App CSS. Go and write logic in the app CSS. What is that? Table th td. What is the property? Border hyphen collapse. Clear? So you need to practice up to this. So if you're not understand everything, for example, definitely I will give you the content. What the content I told you already, I will give you the code, etc. And go to the code once. Go to that array of elements. how I printed their data in the form of list using map. And array of objects, I printed their data in the form of table. Just try to practice these two examples, that's it. Try to print the data in the list, try to print the data in the table, that's it. Perform up to that. Okay, rest in the next class we'll start with events, then we'll talk about the form, and I will take the single text box data I will add to the list, and multi-text box data I will take multi-text text boxes, and those data I will add to the table. Okay, in the next class I will perform that, and as of now you can leave now. Have any questions, guys? Good. You can practice, and I will send you the code. Okay, take care, guys. Bye bye.